We have a young man who will share his experiences of being on campus and navigating mental health challenges on the Think Different podcast. Join us as he discusses the highs and lows of university life and offers insights on maintaining mental well being in a campus setting. David, a former university student, will share his insights on navigating mental health challenges while on campus on the Think Different podcast. Welcome, David, to our podcast. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing all right. Just was waiting anxiously to get this interview up and going.
That's great. That's great. So let's
Yes,
get right
yes.
into the questions. How
All
do you
right.
think the university environment can impact on students' mental health?
Thinking back to my time in university and interacting with my friends and so forth, I can share a few points that I've done some research also, and I've thought about the question in its entirety. And I have about 10 points that I'd like to share where, how the university can impact students and mental health. The first one is academic pressures. Second, transition challenges, financial stress, social pressures, accessibility of support, balancing responsibility, physical health, pressure to succeed, culture and identity challenges, and mental health awareness and support. So I'll, go down and break down each. As we know, being in a university environment, the academic pressures can be quite, stressful because, you are competing against your fellow students. And if you're not meeting that expectation, it's gonna put a level of anxiety, a level of, feeling that you're not enough. So the academic pressure tends to weigh a lot on students, especially myself. I can speak for myself. Um, I can say I'm not the brightest, but I'm very intelligent where, I can assess a situation, assess the questions and answer. And when I look within the space during my time, a lot of students were advancing ahead of me, but I took my time and I learned during my process that I have to work with my abilities and my limitations to move forward. Transitional challenges, moving from home into an environment that you're not, familiar with can be, stressful. It causes a lot of persons to miss home, and with that fact, they can lose focus while at university. For myself, I'm a social person, so that wasn't a major challenge for me. I was able to, blend in and also, see my peers from where I'm from in Spanish Town. I was able to feel more comfortable. But you have some persons who they may see a few of their friends that they may have been going to high school with, but the familiarity is not there. So, transitioning to a new space does form some challenges. Financial stress. Everybody know that going to university is very stressful. And in my case, while I was at university, my brother was there. That posed some challenges on my side where finances were concerned. I had to work, worked at the library at NCU, and I was a security. Well, they call us the LPRM. We were basically patrolling the university and ensure that the rules of the university um, was upheld by the students and the property of the university was safe. So, going through that, it created a problem where working and studying become very stressful, where I had to balance the two. And, after a while, I worked in the library for a couple of years and in security for a couple of years while studying. And at one point, I had to stop. because it became very stressful and hectic to balance it too. And that is a reality for many other students as they themselves now found themselves working and studying. And I'm sure it was a challenge, but at the end we prevailed and we all were successful in achieving our degrees. Social pressures is another one. Going to university and have to deal with different sets of persons who come from different parishes, even in Jamaica. I always say to myself that persons from Montego Bay, they have a different mindset from persons who may come from Kingston or Spanish Town because we're the type of person, so we don't let a lot of things bother us. We deal with the situation. But in my experience, it's persons from that end of the island, they always looking over their shoulder. They always have to be on the P's and Q's and. So it was very interesting dealing with different types of persons. Some persons are able to balance it more as they're extroverts, and some persons who are introvert may have difficulties. But university life is like a melting pot where you have many persons who come in and we blend and we mix, and then we can work together as one unit. And the pressures are there, but it's just how we work together. The fifth one is the accessibility of support services. You have a lot of persons who find themselves being stressed, having a lot of anxiety, and they don't know that the university offer counseling services, and not getting that access may cause them to kind of withdraw, and that may affect their academic ability, even their financial status. It may affect that. So, all of that in entirety causes the students to fall under pressures where it may impact their mental health. I want to just share one more, which is the physical health. Especially in CU, physical health along with your academics and spiritual life was blended, and they encourage all students to, well, we all had to do PE basically, and you have the side where we went to class and we learn about it, the academic side, and then we have the physical side where we had to either play badminton, or on Friday mornings you have the PE sessions where um, you go out and exercise. And many persons, may take the opportunity to step in and actually do it. And some persons may not because, other pressures, financial, accessibility to support, academic pressure may cause them to break down and their mental health may not be as strong as many others.
And those are very good pointers and very detailed for persons to understand the different aspects to each of those. But what resources or support systems have you found helpful in managing mental health while being on campus?
As I thought about this question, as I stated before, well, I didn't state, but my background is in social work. In social work, we actually had to do a class, counseling psychology. In that class, we actually had to do counseling sessions. So for me, I got a chance to talk about what was bothering me in the presence of my peers. We got their feedback. They did the same, and it was a quite interesting class because I've never done that before. As males, we don't normally share what we're feeling, and I was able to do that. And I can remember the pressure that was lifted off my shoulder because I remember that was the semester after I stopped working as a security, and the battle between balancing school life and working, and doing that class, it actually helped me to, get over certain issues that I was being plagued with. So, it varies on what you study. Some persons who study like business or communications, they also have to do class psychology. So those resources that the university had put in place, help students, and it helped me even more as I studied social work. I got to speak about my problems and relate and see how it relate to other students, and it was quite similar. So, I felt more at ease.
Okay, and that's good that you found that space comfortable enough to share what actually bothers you, and you did in fact spoke some truth where men do not express that emotional side to them because they find it, weak, or society may deem it as, that weak, as a man is supposed to strong, hold up, you're
Mhm.
supposed to show a sort of weakness or express it publicly.
Yeah,
But
then.
how do you think universities can better support students' mental health needs?
All right. So, basically universities, well, in the case of NCU, they offer counseling services as I stated before, and it was actually free, based on the severity of the problem. But if you wanted to, go in for help, then they offer that services at a quite decent price. So universities should try to offer counseling services. They should have peer support groups. Online resources can also help. Workshop and seminars, student health centers, hotlines and crisis intervention services. Also, community resources are very important to have, and also technology-based solutions. Faculty and staff should offer support to the students, and the university should have a peer counseling program. So I'm going to break down some of these. As stated, the counseling services were available at MCU for students. Even, you may have students who may listen this who may not know, but they can go to the behavioral science department as asking body, where's the counseling department? And they can point you in that direction. And you can go there and actually get help. Peer support groups. There is nothing greater than having somebody who you can relate to in your corner, who you can share with, and who can advise you of their experiences coming from their timeline. I want to expound on this some more why this is very important, because sometimes you may go into a counseling session with an adult, somebody who's older than you are, and when you share your reality, it's completely different. We live in the 21st century, they lived in the 19th century. The problems that we have today is different from the problems that they may have. It may be similar, but the dimensions of each are different. So having somebody who is in your age group who may understand that, hey, social media is bullying me. Somebody in their 60s or 50s, depending on how tech savvy they are, may not understand. But somebody who same age of you, use social media and all of that, they may understand the pressures of actually being on social media and how it may affect you, both physically, emotionally, and how it affects you in your academics. So peer support groups are very important. Um, Online resources. Sometimes we have to take the initiative to try to identify our issues, and a quick Google search can also help us. You can, if somebody is having a mental health breakdown and they identify that they may suffer by not sleeping well, go on Google, how do I improve my sleeping? And that may help. And you may find resources or where to look, techniques that you can apply to help you in getting good sleep. So using online resources is very important. Also, workshop and seminars is important for university to keep with their students in mind and to organize workshops, seminars, and events focused on mental health awareness, stress management, mindfulness, and other relevant topics. These topics may help to build skill opportunities for the students for them to actually help with their mental health. Also, hotline and crisis intervention services. Just the other day, I was on social media and I learned that a student at Church Teachers College actually committed act on himself that he passed. His friend,
Wow.
his roommate actually found him.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so having the hotline and the crisis intervention service, where, in a broad sense, where if a student is at home and they having certain thoughts, they should know that calling this number can actually have somebody on the line who can help them to talk them through whatever they're going through, because many persons is those final moments that they really need help, that they try to reach out and they are not able to receive the help that they need. So universities should, think about these resources and these services to help the students. Community resources is one. You know, wherever I live, I try to, um, be active. Either by playing football, talking to persons who actually live in the community. That helps students into feeling comfortable and safe. And whatever dangers maybe arise, the persons within the community can actually share and say, hey, look out for this person. Or at this time, they try to be home or stuff like that. So, yeah, the community plays a very important part in helping students and the mental health as they go through the trying times.
That's true. That's true. I totally agree. And it's so unfortunate for that student because persons firstly would, ask the question, well, then how could I pressure him, son, him stuff of him do things like that? But people fail to understand that persons don't have that strong support and they're not so strong mentally. And they just believe that that's the easiest way out.
That is true. And I do believe that this generation, more so, is affected by mental health even more because, the intervention of social media and other pressures in life. And if you pay attention to the news, many times in the United States in Congress, you have the social media platforms actually have to sit down in front of Congress and answer questions
Yeah, for
um
real.
for what they are doing to stop bullying. And you know you have a child that actually growing up and all they're seeing is that you can decide what sex you can be. When I was growing up, you were either male or female. We didn't go through
Exactly.
that. We didn't go through that pressure to can choose. Is it you're born male and female? But that's another topic that I don't want to divulge in because it's very touchy, you
Right,
know.
yeah.
So a lot of stuff causing a lot of mental health issues with the students and the young people during these days.
What advice would you have given persons who are thinking about going to university, whether living on campus or going to be off campus? What advice would you give them going into that type of environment in terms of guarding their mental space, knowing, as you mentioned earlier, about the pressures?
All right. The first thing I advise them to do is to ask their older siblings or ask their older friends, somebody who they know attending university. Just ask them simple questions. What can I expect? What are some of the challenges that you faced and how did you deal with it? So, doing basic research can help you. I'm the type of person that if you tell me that the definition of a word is this, best believe that I'm going to the dictionary or I'm going on Google and I'm going to research it myself because I want to know for myself if what you said to me is true. And I would also encourage all students that are going to do that also. Do not rely on persons to tell you everything and you just input it into your body and that's it. No. You know, find out, how you deal with certain situations. Also, going to university, do not bottle up yourself. Try to get active on campus. Join academic groups. For example, the social work, you had the social workers, the social work association, student association. In business, you have BASO, and you have the different academic groups and academic platforms that you can join. Join the student body, get active, play sports, enjoy university. University is not only to sit in a class and listen to a lecture, no. Get involved in extracurricular activities, build on your spiritual um, side of life and just enjoy university. That is the advice that I'll give to all students that are looking in that direction.
Okay, and that's really good advice. And I
Thank you.
do thank you for taking your time out and being a part of this interview. It was very insightful, very informative, and it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I have to say that I'm very proud of what you're doing. Many persons may not know, but I wanted to share this that you and I have been friends from actually 2002 when we both started Victor Dixon High School and see how you have transitioned into a wonderful young lady and what you're doing. This platform is actually a platform that is very important. I listened to some of the interviews and I'm very proud of you and I hope that you keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And yes, it has been such a long time. If I ask yourself, where did time go?
Yes, it moves
We're
very
all grown up.
fast.
Where did time go?
Yes,
And I'm
yes.
glad to even see you doing your thing and being in a field that I absolutely adore, social workers, because they have the chance to also help people mentally too.
Hmm.
And
And
also
oh,
to be like, I think they kind of like a family unit. I think they have to get a little touch of that also to actually
yes, best,
understand the person.
best believe, and I have to put this in too. That Jamaica really lack a lot of social services that social
For real.
workers
Yeah.
can play a very important role, especially in developing policies for the Ministry of Education. I think that they need to, and I'm speaking specifically, who knows? The education ministry might, somebody within the ministry might hear this, or in the Ministry of Health, or even the Prime Minister. Try to involve a team of social workers. They may have it, but they may need to do it more to develop more social programs to help from the grassroots. Jamaica is plagued with, a situation where, the persons in within my age in the 30s, persons are 20, they're already bent in their ways. But we have to change the mindset of the generation coming up, where we can have students who know that, throwing a garbage in a garbage bin is actually the right thing to do, and not when they're driving, just throw it through the window. You know, teach our students that, resolving conflicts actually is something that you can actually talk about. You don't have to get physical, stuff like that. We need to start implementing programs from the grassroots and build it up because the generation that I'm in is maybe too late.
Yeah, that's true. That's really, really true. And I'm glad you extended that information because it's very important. Very, very important. And it's very
Indeed.
sad because there is a lot of crisis where that is concerned. Not much mental awareness, and persons don't have a particular proper channel to go to actually know what next can I do.
It's really appalling. Really appalling. But persons need to, try to find out the proper, resources that is available to get help mentally. Because trust me, they're there. It's just to find them.
That is true. And thanks again.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.